something we all need. Gotta have it now if you wanna succeed. Striving, surviving, that's no doubt. Sticking together, we gon' find a way out. So all you young people, give it your. So all you young people, give it your. So all you young people, give it your. So all you young people, give it your.
Good afternoon, the back community. Thank you as always for staying involved. Thank you for staying engaged. Today's interviewee that we have is a gentleman that I have known for a very, very long time, who has gone on to become a host of different things, but among them, the first Black a grandmaster out of Albany, New York, for the game of chess. I'm starting off with that because Philemon has kicked my butt several times in Pigeon Park for that. But this afternoon's interviewee is Philemon Thomas. Philemon speaks, a man that's known to many people throughout the community. So Phil, thank you very much for giving me your time this afternoon, bro. I truly look forward to diving into your story, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I know I started off with the chess thing, but you do several different things, and I'm gonna try my best to make sure I cover all of them. But the very first thing I always like to do at the top of these interviews is to give the back community a better understanding of you as a person, who you are, and what it is that you do. So my very first question for you, Mr. Philemon Thomas, is what kind of work do you do? What kind of passion projects are you working on now? Here's the opportunity to tell the back community about you.
Yes, okay. Well, right now I work for a commercial bakery in Albany, New York. But what I'm very passionate about at the moment is motivational speaking. I just love to inspire people and touch people and impact people's lives in any way I can. And I gave a speech in New Jersey and not too long ago. And a young lady from the crowd, she came up and she said, are you the guy from Instagram? And that really shocked me to know that people really follow me. So that was inspirational for me, and it gives me fuel to keep going.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this 1 second. Sorry about that. I forgot to hit the do not disturb button on my end, so I don't want these messages to be coming through and messing up your interview. But right. So you being a motivational speaker is huge. One, I love listening. This may not come off the right way, but you have a very soothing voice, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, even just hearing, you can hear the strength in your delivery of the messages that you're putting out whenever you do speak, which is what I think allows you to be, to have this great voice and to be able to be as powerful and impactful as you are whenever you are connecting with individuals. So it doesn't surprise me that someone recognized your voice, because, you know what I mean, it is something that is apparently you and makes you who you are, and probably goes back to, you know what I mean, the naming of you. You have such a powerful name, Philemon, biblically,
yes,
period. So, but yeah, you know.
But it's funny that you say that about the voice, because that's actually what got me into speaking. So when I was first getting into fitness and I started the calisthenics group, I never knew I could speak. I never knew I had a voice. It was just me. I was so used to it. So as the group started to build, people used to come to me after the workouts and say that you have so much charisma and you have a voice. When you speak, people listen. So at first I brushed it off. I didn't really take it seriously, but people consistently told me this. They said, you have a very intriguing and commanding voice. So what I did was I took that. I wanted to test it out. So I took that and put it on the internet. I used to drive trucks. So every morning I would do motivation, and I would get the same exact feedback from the people on the internet as the people in the gym. They said, you have a commanding voice. You have a gift. You have to share your gift with the world. So I just took it and continued to build from there. But I took their belief in me, and it made me believe in me.
And their belief in you inspired you to believe in yourself. But now everybody gets to bear witness to it, because it's truly unique. It's kind of like even when you're listening to like those Allstate or State Farm commercials. I think it's Allstate, the guy does it, but he has this voice, so you have that and more in your voice as well, in your delivery. So but yeah, man, how has the life of doing voiceovers been for you? Because on top of doing motivational speaking, you also do voiceovers.
Yes.
How has that addition to your life made contributions to you?
Oh, it's been great.
Okay.
The way I got in was the same exact way. So as we began to expand in the calisthenics world, we used to go to competitions, and mainly New York City, and a lot of the people that competed in the competitions, they said the same exact thing to me. They said, you have a great voice. So one of the gentlemen started a league, and he asked me to do some voiceover work for some videos, and it took off from there. And more people asked me, and I got more opportunities to do the voiceovers. Then I took it upon myself to do some on my own. I put together some montage videos of some of the athletes. So most of my voiceover work has been with the calisthenics community. But I would love to break into whoever, Nike, Lexus, any of these major companies, you name. But I guess you got to start. You got to start where you are. You got to build your, your resume.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just, as my man Nipsey Hussle would say, it's when, what is it? Some people don't focus in on luck. It's actually when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
I had to make sure I scrolled through my mental Rolodex to get that out right. So, when preparation meets opportunity. So you're already preparing yourself for those stages, for the Nikes, for all of those other individuals that could use a voice like you. And you're going to be ready, because, when the opportunity presents itself, that's all it is making sure that you're ready when the right opportunity presents itself. I remember there was a homeless man, what was that, out in Cleveland, who was out trying to get money from different cars and stuff like that. But he would sing and people heard his voice. And that opportunity that people now with social media allowed him to go viral and allowed him to come in and now be a sports, not a sports broadcaster, but he did something within the arena there and took off there because he had this voice that was just like Brian Gumble-esque. It's like you had to recognize him. So, I get the same vibes with you, man.
Right.
Yeah. But one of the other loves that you did mention was calisthenics.
Yes.
And yeah, I want you to dive into this one for me because one, like I said, your voice is powerful, but not only having a very powerful voice, you have a very powerful stature about yourself, to the part that you go to New York City. I want to say I might have seen you in one in Chicago too. Did you ever go to Chicago for one too? Yeah. So how is it being a calisthenics champion, and what areas of calisthenics do you typically excel in? Was it push-ups?
Right. Push-ups is definitely my favorite exercise. But I want to tell you how I got into calisthenics. It's a funny story. So growing up, I had an older brother, and he was a bully. So we used to fight a lot and argue a lot. And he was 4 years older, so he was stronger. So I decided that I got to level the playing field somehow. So I went to a boxing gym, and the coach there, his name was Ray Holland. Rest in peace, late Ray Holland. And he introduced us to calisthenics. But that was just the start of my journey. But he not only introduced us to calisthenics, he introduced us to discipline and commitment and fortitude and persistence. So he actually changed my life, because he came at a time when I needed somebody like that in my life. But I stayed with the boxing for about 10 years. And about 2 years after I stopped, I got a phone call from Ray's wife. And Ray's wife told me that he was in hospice and he didn't have much time left. So if I wanted to see him, I had to get over there quickly. So when I arrived at the hospital, Ray was laying in the bed, and to my dismay, he wasn't like down and out. He was positive, and he said some words that changed my life forever. At first, he said to me, I'll never forget this moment because I replay it all the time. He said that, don't worry about him, worry about his wife. And if she needs some errands run the errands for her or go to the store or whatever she needs. And then he said the words that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, I'm just laying here counting down the seconds, the minutes, and the hours because I've done everything I wanted to do in life and I have no regrets. So that hit me so deeply. And then I bid him farewell. And as I was walking back to the elevator, I said to myself, when I reach that point in life, because we're all going to reach it, we're all going to leave here, will I be able to say those same exact words that I've done everything I wanted to do and I have no regrets? So from that day forward, I always ask myself that regularly. Am I leading a life that when I reach the end, I can say I've done everything I wanted to do and I have no regrets? So that led to me starting the calisthenics team. So it gave me a way to give back and impact people. So when we went around to these competitions, that's exactly what we did. We meet like-minded people and we impact each other and we feed off the positivity. But to answer your question, I love all the calisthenics, but push-ups is by far my favorite. But calisthenics, for people who don't know, are body weight exercises, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, squats, burpees, anything that consists of body weight. And at these competitions, they're comprised of a multitude of those exercises, usually in succession. So it's like a test of your endurance and strength. So to win amongst all these elite athletes is no small feat. Most definitely. Yeah. I've won twice in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is like the biggest one. They actually discontinued it now. It's called the Pull-Up Park Jam. So for the calisthenics athletes, it's like the Olympics. It's like the biggest one. So I've won there twice. And the sister of that is the one in Chicago also with the same namesake, Pull-Up Park Jam Chicago. I've won that once.
Okay. Hey, yo, and seeing you become a champion at those events was huge because first and foremost, people will always think like the most fit or the most powerful person has this particular lean physique or something like that, right? But from the moment I started seeing you getting in there to do your push-ups and busting them out, I'm just like, holy shit! So like, wow, I didn't know how powerful you were, and through watching you, it has taught me that the real value or the real power of a person is not necessarily in how the appearance looks, but it's really underneath and in the substance and in the makeup of that individual person. I think your mind has a lot to do with how you excel physically as well, because you constantly are pushing yourself. And that's what you guys do with a team guaranteed results. As you have that shirt on, I think,
yes.
Guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a mantra. So that's our philosophy and everything that we pursue, guaranteed results. So whatever you want to do, as long as you do it with persistence and great energy and diligence and work ethic, you will get those guaranteed results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I had a member of your team on here as well. On season 1, I interviewed Zoe Verbal. So my man's, and I even watched his physical transformation change too. And just, the confidence that it gives us as men, as Black men to understand how powerful our bodies are, the full limits of what we can take it to and how we can stretch it and how we can produce, that confidence yields results in all types of ways, not just in the physical way, but it helps for you to identify with who you are. It helps for you to have a healthier outlook of how the world sees you, because you see yourself differently. So I see physical fitness as a way of not only changing the formation of yourself physically, but also changing who you ultimately envision yourself as being. And I see that with you, and I see that through the works that you do, because I don't think that there's anybody that'll walk up on you, Phil, and be like, say anything other than this guy is powerful. What does he do?
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
But aside from the physical benefits of working out, it also was, the group was a place where we found solace, and it was like community and unity. We could talk about our problems and issues, and at the same time build our physical and mental strength. So it's definitely a great thing.
Yeah, man. What is it? You got to surround yourself with success, surround yourself with other individuals that are motivating you to excel and inspire for more. And, that's what I see from you and your team as you guys travel throughout the country and compete at different at these different pull-up jams. But, that's what I see from you guys. And I think that you're a living testament of that. But I'm going back to something you said earlier.
Yes.
Because, I know you said your older brother was a bully. So, I totally understand. I got 5 brothers, 3 older brothers all together. But I love what you I love what you decided to do as a result of that. Like you said, he was like, instead of allowing your brother to keep the upper hand, you decided to find avenues in which you could strengthen yourself. And I know me, brother Anthony, we would go at this we used to go at this all of the time, right? Because he would always tell me, especially as I got older, he would be like, "Rel, he said, you got to get more physical. You focusing on talking to people all the time, but it's like, people don't understand nothing unless they're getting punched in the mouth." And that's what we understand. And I would tell him, you're right, but also 90% of life is mental. So if I can have a stronger mental game, I can outlast anything that's coming at me in the physical. And I might be able to talk myself or wiggle myself up out of a situation just by using my brain. And now we're that in life. Now he'll come back and be like, it's not about exercising as much strength as you can, because your strength can be taken from you. Your strength could whittle away over the years. But if you got a strong mind, right, you sharp either which way. And I think that's equally important. But when you were talking about how you got into boxing, it made me think about the importance of having mentors. So rest in peace to what was it, Coach Ray?
Coach Ray Holland.
Yep. So rest in peace to Coach Ray. Did he used to work at the Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, he did.
Listen, I'm sitting when you saying that, I'm like, that sounds like the same coach from the Boys and Girls Club, because I know that that's where we first crossed paths at down that way over there on Myrtle and with the Boys and Girls Club on Delaware. But I was just like, I boxed with Ray for a very, very small time there at the Boys and Girls Club. But that rink in the back, we used to use, Brandon Graham used to allow us to go back there and settle any type of disputes that we had. So if we arguments or whatever, we like, oh, everybody thinking they big and tough, he would allow us to go in the back to the ring and put on the gear and go ahead and duke it out. So and it's one of those things that is important, because learning how to de-escalate situations isn't something that our community really has enough tools in. And I think boxing, and as just in terms of discipline, is one of those ways to do it. So you took a negative and found ways to find strength that ultimately helped you in that one situation with your brother, but it also helped you in life.
It continues to help me, yes. But I wanted to go back to, you said I was a grandmaster. I'm actually not a grandmaster. I'm a national master, national chess master. Yeah.
Okay. My bad. So what is the difference between a national master and a grandmaster? Is there a such thing as a grandmaster?
Yes. See, a grandmaster is the highest level that a person can achieve in chess outside of world champion. So a national master is on a national level. A grandmaster is on a world level. So the whole world, the whole chess world recognizes the grandmaster, whereas a national master is a master for his country.
Okay.
But the way you achieve a national master is you have to go to formal tournaments and achieve a rating of 2,200. In a grandmaster, you have to compete internationally and achieve a rating of 2,500 points. So basically, you got to beat a lot of people in both to achieve both.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so obviously it's no small feat to to even become a national master.
No.
So, but yeah, and chess. Actually, I have put out on social media for people to give me some questions for you that me to ask you, and all of the responses wanted me to ask pretty much about how do you equate the game of chess to life, because in so many situations people will say chess is just like the game of life, but most of the question it was just like, can you ask him how does he feel chess, his skills in chess helps him in life?
Well, chess definitely imitates life, I think, in principle. So in chess, one bad move can nullify 40 great moves, I'm sorry. But in the opposite is true too. One great move can nullify 40 bad moves. So I think those two hold true in life. But the way I use chess in life is chess helps you develop great critical thinking, analytical thinking, decision making, and problem solving. And I think those are skills that we use throughout our life for our whole life. So chess has definitely helped me with that. It makes you analyze, but you can't overanalyze to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, and I know for me, it definitely helps me to look 2 or 3 moves ahead. And like you said, there's I know there's people whose skills level are well beyond 2 or 3 moves, but for me, it's just like I'll go through life playing defense somewhat, wondering is this situation right here going to turn into a problem? Is this situation might be a problem? How do I navigate myself through all of these positions on the board to make sure that I get to my desired end goal? And I do equate the game of chess a lot to life, but as it pertains to thinking, to strategizing, and to figuring out a way, even when you're outnumbered, to still win. And one of the greatest lessons I had to learn was to learn how to play without my best pieces. I played years recently, and I hadn't played in a long time. But the guy who I played against was just like, he said, "Wow, he was really shocked when I sacrificed my queen. I did it purposely." And I was just like, but I was like, I actually learned over the years that I play better when I get rid of my best pieces, because then I'm be a lot more resourceful. And I apply that to life too. Just like, when you got a ton of things that are mounting on your shoulders, and it's just like, you got to figure out a way how to maneuver and how to come out victorious, period. So there's no excuses. There's no plan B. It's just like, this is the situation that's here. You may not have everything that you need, but how do you create what it is that you want?
Yes, that's absolutely true. I like what you said about the best piece, because chess, it teaches you to be objective and unbiased, because at any given time, in any given situation, any piece can be the best or the strongest. You just have to know which to use in which situation. A lot of people, they fall in love with pieces, like the queen is the strongest, or I like the knights or the bishops, but you got to analyze what's going on, because in certain situations that queen or your favorite piece can be powerless, and you have to know how to utilize your whole army and be objective, just like in life.
Absolutely. Well, let me see, man. I'm gonna I want to take you down, not necessarily these next set of questions I'm going to hit you with is try to get more of a in-depth understanding of who you are. I love this question right here. It's probably my favorite question from season 1. But what's your favorite place to visit in the Capital District area, and why?
My favorite place to visit in the Capital District area, and why? For me, I don't know. It has to be where it all started for me, at the Quell Street Boxing Gym. That's where Team Guaranteed Results was birthed, at the Quell Street Boxing Gym. So just visiting there, it brings such like great feelings and great memories for me personally.
Nice. And shout out to the Quell Street Boxing Gym. I know we currently still have some people that's out of there right now that's still doing numbers boxing wise. Was that Team Hitters up there? You got King Mazi. You had a mayor.
Abraham.
Yep. And then,
Kim Do Bethel.
There you go. Right,
Yeah,
right there, right out of the heart of the community. And
yes.
Trevor did a lot of boxing out in Schenectady, but shout out to him on his major accomplishment on Saturday. Still retaining the WBA heavyweight belt. So
Produced a lot. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to my man Tony Marshall too, because Tony is my guy. You know what I mean? He is one of the smoothest people I ever met in my life. And just to see him take it from Team Sewer down there on Street to St. Joe's, and then over the years to still give back his contributions. And I know he still would give up there on the Quell Street Boxing Gym as well. So shout out to my man Tony Marshall too. Yes,
I want to say he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's the most decorated fighter to ever come out of Albany. If I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So he deserves all his credit and flowers and just due.
Mm-hmm. Tony did me a real solid, right? He told me, this was when I first used to come home from Johnson C. Smith. I would come home for Christmas breaks and stuff like that. But back then, Sneaky Pete's was still popping. So everybody was going to Sneaky Pete's, right? But people didn't know that I didn't drink, right? I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, right? But of course, everyone's drinking, everybody's smoking, or sneaking smoke, but everybody was drinking then. But Tony knew that I didn't drink, right? So me and Tony would go in together, and he would take me to the bar, and he would be like, we would get a pineapple and cranberry mixed drink, and we would put a napkin over it with the through it, right? And for all of those years, everybody used to always be like, "Oh man, bro, I see you was twisted last night." It was like, no, it wasn't. I was over here drinking juice. He's like, my man put me onto that because at the time I didn't drink or anything, and I think that helped me to keep a level head that actually allowed me to get up out of a bunch of situations too. So yeah, so he definitely deserves all of his flowers, man.
Respect to Tony.
Respect to Tony. Let me see. Another one that stands out to me is that Albany can sometimes be divided based upon what section of the city you live in, right? Is it down in the south end? Is it crosstown over there by Delaware Ave and Morris? Dana? Is it uptown? Is it out north? But if you were to take a stab at it, what do you think keeps the community from coming together collectively as a whole? If you were to take a stab at it, what do you think stops us from collectively coming together as a whole on a community level?
Well, this is by no means my field of expertise, but if I had to take a stab at it, I would say definitely some lack of trust there. And like old feuds, people hold on to a lot of old grudges from years and years ago. They don't know how to bury the hatchet. So they keep those old feelings, and that stops people from uniting.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely, I like that. I like that. And it's just like, trust is huge. So imagine, putting your life on the line or at the mercies of other individuals. That's a lot to do. That's a lot to ask for. So, to understand that a lot of what's going on is deeply rooted in distrust, and like how to create the levels of trust. And just like, for me, I could have had falling outs with individuals over the years. And as I developed as a person, I always find ways to go back and try to make the situation better if I could. Time when I was younger and I might have been doing dirt and I harmed somebody, where I am now in life allows me to go ahead and look at it in a whole nother way, where it's just like, that was definitely uncalled for. But it's just like, how do you, like you said, get rid of the distrust that might have been there before? And it takes a lot of maturity on everyone's behalf to realize that what's at stake is having a safe environment for us to grow up in, for our children to grow up in. And I think that's a lot more important than holding on to things of the past.
Right. I completely agree, but it will take time.
Yeah.
As they say, the fastest way to achieve your goals, your mission, or your dream is slowly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. One of the other things that always comes up, and it was up until I did the interview with the mayor, Kathy Sheehan, I used to always say that statistically, I thought that 2021 and 2018 might have been the hardest hit years for the Capital District area. But when she came on, she was just saying that overall violence has decreased, but gun violence has definitely spiked. We're at pandemic levels with gun violence, right? And I agree, but because gun violence is something that's near and dear to my heart. So stop gun violence. I'm gonna start that question off by that. But what about you, Phil? How have you been impacted by gun violence in the community? Has it affected you in any way personally, or what it is that you do in the realms of chess or calisthenics or anything? How have you been impacted by gun violence?
Oh, it hasn't impacted me personally, but a lot of the people that I went to school with or came across, I hear about them being killed or being shot, or people that know them being shot. So it has affected me in that way. But me personally, per se, like, no, it hasn't. It doesn't impact what I do, or I just stay very focused and out of certain areas where the gun violence is prevalent.
Okay. I respect that. And that's smart. Like I said, there's trouble almost everywhere.
Yes.
But if you go on looking for it, trouble can find you. But there's also ways to maneuver and get around the different things that are going on too. So I definitely respect that. Staying away from it is the best credence.
Right.
That's code to follow. So
right.
Yeah, man.
I remember I overheard this older gentleman talking, and he said something that stuck with me. He said, the best way to get something off you is to never get it on you.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, man. It's just like, don't pick it up from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, right now, street life has become a lot more glorified than it's ever. I mean, and in my generation, it was some people that were involved. It wasn't everybody that wanted to be involved. Most people still had educational aspirations and things that they wanted to go ahead and do. But it's just like right now, a lot of people's aspirations have become limited, really, to wanting to be engaged in that aspect of life. And there's so much for life. And it took me to get outside of Albany when I first went away for college to really open up my mind and be like, holy moly, you know what I mean? There's other opportunities, there's another lifestyle that exists outside of here. You know what I mean? Right. Home is home. You know what I mean? I love home, but you know what I mean? When you start to get outside and you realize that your competition isn't the people that you're sitting right across from in school. You know what I mean? You're competing with other people globally, as you mentioned, you know, in the world of chess. In order to become you're competing with people globally. You're competing with people nationally as well. And I think once we start to be able to realize that those opportunities are what we need to be preparing ourselves for, it really will help us to want more again, and to not just, you know what I mean, limit our own expectations for ourselves. I think that's where I was going with that.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I know you're a motivational speaker, so I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you here on this one. If there was something that you could tell a young adult that would help them to not make a particular mistake, if there was some type of advice that you wanted to give to a young adult, what would it be? Take that back. Scratch that question. I got a better one. Thinking about the younger version of yourself, Philemon Thomas. What is something that you wish someone would have told the younger Philemon Thomas that you know now?
The younger version of myself. Well, I gotta use an analogy. So I wish somebody would have told me that success is likened to walking on a tightrope. So when you're walking on a tightrope, the most important thing is your next step. You know that success is at the end. That's the destination we all want to reach, but you must focus on your next step. And that next step is different for all of us. Whatever it may be, it could be going back to school or getting a mentor, reading, studying, working hard. You have to focus solely on your next step.
I like that. I like that. And it actually just made me think about Will Smith's book that I just read. And he talked about how his dad forced him and his brother, when they were not even teenagers yet, to build this wall in the garage, right? And kept being overwhelmed at the thought of building this wall. And his father's philosophy was this, like, don't worry about the wall. Stop worrying about the wall. Worry about doing one brick at a time.
Yes.
If you can do one brick at a time perfectly, and then do the next brick perfectly, and then keep doing that perfectly, you'll have a wall at the end. So I like what you just said with your analogy as well. A tightrope, how do you get to the end? One step at a time.
That's it. That's it. Keep stepping.
Keep stepping. Yeah, man. Because a lot of times, especially as young adults, we can make mistakes that we think are unforgivable or life-changing. And the truth of the matter is that as long as you keep stepping, as you just alluded to, you can actually get to a better position. You can get to a better situation. You can get to a better place as long as you keep moving, as long as you don't get stuck. So, never stay, don't allow the circumstances to define who you're going to become.
Right. And perfect people don't exist. Every single one works in progress. We're all striving to be better and better our best. So you shouldn't get too down on yourself over mistakes, because we're gonna continue to make mistakes. We're gonna continue to fail, but you gotta learn from your failures. But when the thing that always makes me think, when people say it's okay to fail, I think it's only okay to fail if you gave your best. If you gave your best effort, you did everything possible, you uncovered every stone, and then it's okay to fail. But if you're giving a half-hearted effort, then no. But when you give everything you got and you fail, then you can learn from that failure, and you know what to correct and how to come back stronger to finally achieve success in the future.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah. Give your best, man. Like I tell my kids that right now. It's just like, I'm okay with you failing. I'm okay with you not getting it right. But do your best.
Right.
We learn how to maneuver, how to get better. My 5-year-old and my 3-year-old to sit here and argue with each other all day. They were playing on the Nintendo Switch the other day, playing the Smash Brothers, right? And my 3-year-old is just like, Daddy, I can't win. I'm just like, no, stop right there. All right, I got over there and started playing with him. I was like, listen, do this move. Try this one out. You can win. You can, because it's over there beating his butt. So it was like, no, you can win, but stop telling yourself you can't.
That's true.
Let me see. Do you typically find setting goals stressful or motivating?
I find it motivating, because when I set a goal, I get excited, because every step I take towards it is I'm closer to it. So it definitely excites me.
Okay. And if you were to define success, I know you just alluded to it 2 questions ago, but if you were to define success, how would you define success? What does success look like to you?
Success to me is just setting a goal, working towards that goal, and ultimately achieving that goal, no matter how small or big that goal is. That's what success is to me. But, a lot of the times we think that success is this massive wealth or these aesthetic things or something like that. That's the picture that's been painted. Although some people want that, but success is simply, to me, setting a goal, achieving that goal, making steps, and then achieving the goal.
Okay. All right. And for you, how do you find, or how do you keep a work-life balance? Because not only are you working, you know what I mean, you do voiceovers, you do calisthenics. Like I said, you're the national champion. I say that right this time?
Yes, national chess master. Yes,
chess master as well. But how do you keep a healthy work-life balance as you balance all of these different passions and work and family?
Well, it just takes focus, and you gotta be understanding as well. You gotta know when to take breaks and things like that. But what I really want to say is, when you're chasing greatness, when you want something real bad, sometimes there's not so much balance. You got to tip the scales in that thing. If I want to be the best at this one particular thing for a time and a moment in time, I have to give that one thing my all. I always look at the example of Kobe Bryant. When people talk like this Mamba mentality and everything like this, Kobe sacrificed so much. He worked 6 days a week for 6 hours a day. That's not balance. That's greatness. That's pouring everything you got into that one thing, because you don't want to wonder what could have happened if I gave it my all. You don't ever want to wonder that. But that's how I look at it. Yeah,
I love it. And we were just talking about Kobe. Saturday, I got up with another guy, Kashif, who lives down here as well, from Albany though, and
yes.
We were at Union Market, and I was telling him, I was like, Kobe's like one of those people that I feel like I really missed out on the whole Mamba mentality while he was still living. And it wasn't until I read the Mamba mentality book that I realized it was like, yo, Kobe's been the real deal from the very beginning. His definition of work ethic is out of this world. And I'm just like, man. So yeah, I love that.
Right. You gotta work. You gotta work. It's all about the process, because people focus so much on the end result, the goal, the prize. No, you need that process to develop all the skills you need, what you're lacking, and it just makes you into what you need to be in order to be successful. So people should place their focus on that process, that grit, that grind. That's what it's about. Everybody just tries.
And don't be scared of the process, because the process is beautiful, honestly. And this is like I said, the process is beautiful.
Yes.
You cannot skip the process, people. Do not try to skip the process. The process is going to build character. Like so many people want the end result. You know what I mean? I want what it looks like at the end of the pot of the rainbow, but I'm not going to enjoy the process of getting there.
Right.
Enjoy the process, man. The process is going to be the best part of it, so that way when you get there to wherever that journey is going to end for you, you're able to maintain what you have. You're able to be content with what you have, and you're able to feel fulfilled. So what did Ray say earlier? I mean, like you said, when you walked away from that conversation with him, and you were saying like, when it's your time, you want to have that level of fulfillment, that level of understanding that what I did, I came, I conquered.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. Let me see this. One of my final questions for you. What about your life's path? What about your life's path are you most proud of, Phil?
Well, the most proud moment for me was after I stopped boxing, I ballooned up to 320 pounds. A friend of mine, he came up to me, he said, you got to do something. You're letting yourself go. So when he said that, it sparked something in me. So I made the transformation from 320 to 240. So that was definitely a proud moment for me.
Okay. Yeah. And being able to keep it off.
Yes.
You know, because that goes back to the previous question. You know what I mean? Enjoying the process along the way, it'll help you to skills to maintain that desired result that you got. You know what I mean? Not just fat. So many people are trying to shed weight and get rid of weight real fast, and they're trying all these different things, but it's just like you get it, but you never change your thought process. You never change your mind, and you might be right back in the situation.
Right. They didn't become it. You got to become it. If you got to become fit, it got to be who you are, your lifestyle. Yeah. So whatever you pursue, you have to become it. That's what it's for.
Okay. And I know you're the motivational speaker. So,
Yeah.
but so I enjoy watching other people's content. I make it a goal of mine to listen in and become aware of what other people are actually doing. But
Yes.
I always hear what motivates you. Are there any particular books that you're reading? Any motivational speakers that you follow? Any apps that you use? Here's your opportunity to tell the Black community more about things, places, resources that motivate Philemon Speaks.
Yes. So I always read self-help books. So right now I'm currently reading Susan Jeffers' Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Gary Keller, The One Thing. I read a bunch of them, but those are the two I can think of off the top of my head. One of my favorite motivational speaker is Les Brown, like hands down. I think he's such a charismatic motivational speaker, and he inspires me. I gain things from him watching him.
Okay.
But honestly, I watch everybody. I watch every motivational speaker. Just speakers in particular. I love orators, but Les stands out to me.
Okay. Yeah. And I always like to, like I said, I like to ask the question because sometimes people think that the motivators don't need motivation or they don't get motivation. So I always ask the question because I think it's just as equally important to find out about you as it is to find out about the people that help and motivate you to be who you are. You know what I mean? So being an avid reader is dope. And I think it is an overlooked craft right now. A lot of people take the time to sit down and read. Self-help books are amazing.
Yes.
Right? But, if it's not teaching me how to get $1 or something like that, I may not go ahead and read it. But the tools that you can take along the way are going to give you the tools to make that $100 or whatever the goal may be. But take the time to invest in you. An investment in oneself or your own education pays the best dividends.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Let me see. And I know I asked you earlier, how do you define success? But has your definition of success changed over the years as you've matured, as you've gotten older?
I would say I've always thought of success as that. Just a goal, making the steps, the proper steps towards achieving it and achieving it.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty good for it to still be the same, man. Yeah. And I just know earlier in life is like, for me, it'd be like, you want to get the most girls, you want to have the most cars, you want to get the most money. And then you realize all of the problems that come along with all that stuff. You're like, I don't want none of those things. So, but your definition or my definition has definitely changed over the years. And for me, it's just like, finding how to be happy, finding out how to be content.
Right.
Finding out how to live a purposeful life.
Yes.
Yeah. But listen, man, first and foremost, I really just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to dive into your story a little bit more, because I honestly believe you have a powerful story, Phil. I know you from the days when you said, you had a brother that was terrorizing you. But and to see you as the man that you are today, to see how you carry yourself, to see how you are a positive pillar in our community. I wanted to highlight you. I wanted to bring you on the Black community. So thanks for extending me your time today, my brother.
I truly appreciate it. And I can say all those same things about you. I appreciate what you do and keep doing it. We need more brothers like you.
I greatly appreciate it. Actually, you just made me think about, and I probably shouldn't even say it, but I'm going to take it anywho. You and I used to have another mutual friend. Man, what's Brian Lee's son's name?
Brendan Lee.
Brendan. All right, yeah. And it was just too funny. It was just like, just to see how different worlds could collide over a commonality. And it was like, chess became that commonality. for us, man. And it was just like, for whatever reason, my mind just went off on a tangent and went to that. It was like, oh man, I forgot. And I just drew that connection. But, you know, we have all these different connections. We have all of these different things that are going to be motivating factors that ultimately lead into the person that we will later become. My hope for you is to stay on your journey, stay positive, and continue to be the motivational person that you are for myself and others. So the back community, thank Brother Philemon Thomas. Philemon Speaks. How can they find you on social media? Here's an opportunity to tell them your social media handles and where they can find you and where they can get that motivational inspiration.
Okay, so I'm on TikTok, it's Phil Speaks. On Instagram, it's Philemon Speaks. And on YouTube, it's Phil Thomas. Okay.
All right. Well, listen, man, Phil, thank you for giving me your time this afternoon this afternoon. I truly appreciate it, bro. And I'm going to make sure I get this story out to the people. Thank you. You have yourself a blessed day, man. I'll play catch up with you later.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
All right. Peace.
Keep climbing up the ladder. Black lives matter. They matter. So all you young people, give me all. 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 Matter. Black lives matter. They matter. Black lives matter.